Now you've had time to reflect on last weekend's defeat in the play quarter-final. Have you learned any lessons you can take forward for the rest of the season?
Obviously, we take the emotion out of the game, and we've looked at it and we've reviewed it and clipped it, and we've had kind of open and honest conversations about it. And there's large parts of the game that we're dominant. There's large parts of the game that we play in a way that we're proud of. We're aggressive with and without possession. We create a lot of shooting opportunities. We have a lot of crosses in the box. We play good football, and then there's moments that we abandon those principles and everything that we've kind of put together as a group, and it's those moments that we need to work on. I firmly believe that if we would have continued playing in that way throughout the 90 minutes or the 120 minutes, then we'd have come away with a positive result. So it's those moments that we need to work on. It's those moments that we're aware of, and it's those moments that we're working on currently.
You faced Billericay on Sunday. You beat them at the start of the season, but both sides look a bit different now. What are your thoughts looking forward to the game?
I'm excited. It is going to be a completely different game. Both sides know that. Both sides are different. We spent a lot of time with our players, which we didn't have the ability to do in that first game. They've got a new management team, some new players like I mentioned. So it's going to be an interesting one. Both sides are going to look to play. Both sides are going to be aggressive. Both sides are going to want the win. Two promoted sides, and at the moment, we're kind of in a similar position. So it should be an interesting one, and it'd be nice to see where we're at in comparison to a side that are doing similar things at the moment.
Billericay on great form recently, including a win against Watford. How are you planning on stopping them?
We're not really putting that much focus on them. They are in great form. The weekend aside, and we know what we're capable of doing, and our focus is on us, like it has been all season, and like it will be until the end of this season at least anyway, is completely on us and what we want to achieve and what we want to improve on. And as much as we want to go there and get 3 points, we want to do it by putting a performance in. We want to do it that right way, and we're in a position that we know kind of how many points we need to make sure that we sustain our position in this tier. And at the moment, we're afforded the ability that we're kind of in front of that, so we can afford to focus on performances above results, and we'll continue to do that. So our plan is to go and play and put our best performance on, but we're quite confident that if we do that, and we do that against any side in this division, that we're capable of getting points and we're capable of getting wins. But it's about 90-minute performances, not performances in spells.
Cheltenham have lost the last two competitive games. As you said earlier, that we struggle to play the way you want to play for the 90 minutes. Is that extra step that you're going to need on Sunday, the consistency?
Yeah, I think it's the consistency, and it's just us working as a group. We have made a lot of signings in the summer, and we've had to get people in and settle down, and we've been working through our principles and working through our coaching cycles, and it takes time. It takes time for players to be playing in different ways. There's so many players that have come from different environments, and they've got to adjust to this environment. They've got to adjust to each other. The first part of the season, we were quite fortunate because we were able to maximize those spells and get goals and win games because of it. Now it's a case that everybody else is settled, and they've been settled for a few months now, and we're playing a little bit of catch up in that regard. But our job is to keep improving. The Crawley game was a good example of that. There were moments that we were completely dominant in and we felt really comfortable, and we didn't sustain that. But the fact that those moments are happening more often, the fact that they're happening for longer periods, shows that we're moving in the right direction. It's just frustrating because we come off the back of a season where we win a lot of games, we score a lot of goals, we concede few, and we want to make sure we get back to that as soon as possible. But we need to do it in the right way, and we all trust the process that we're working within, and we're all comfortable to know that we're doing the right things, we're moving in the right way, and it just takes time.
Last weekend obviously means that you are not in any more of the cups. Does that put more pressure in your league position?
No, I think it's the opposite, really. Look, I'm not one of those that will go out of a competition and start saying that our focus is everywhere else. You know, we wanted to succeed in the play. We wanted to go as far as we could go, and that's not the case now. But I think the fact that the only way that fixtures are going to change now are because of other teams means that we can get games on. It means that we can focus for the teams that we've got in front of us. We know that the next week or the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks are going to be on. We know what teams we're going to be facing. We know where we're going to be, and it allows us to have that little bit of consistency that we wouldn't be afforded if we're in certain competitions because of the way that the league structure is at the moment and the priority with schedules. So it allows us to be a little bit more kind of consistent, a little bit more kind of prepared. So there's pros and cons with it. Obviously, the con is that we're not in that competition anymore and we want it to be. But it allows us to be consistent and focus on the league. And, you know, we've got a good number of games left. I think we've got over half our games left still to play. So, you know, we're going to go and we're going to have games week after week and some midweek games as well. So the focus is there. The focus is on those games, on those teams. And like I said, the focus is and will always be on us and improving our moments, improving our abilities, improving our understandings, our connections to make sure that we're in the best position come the end of the season and the start of next season as well.
If you win both your games to hand, you'll be tied level with Billericay. If you reflect on the season as a whole, would you say you are two evenly matched squads?
I'll tell you on Monday. I think it's difficult to draw comparisons. You know, you look at the next sort of 2 to 3 weeks with fixtures, and some sides have, you know, we have Billericay, Oxford and Watford currently. You know, 3 good sides. Like I said, Billericay probably the highest in the form guide, Oxford and Watford, points per game at top and second respectively. So, you know, they're going to be tough games, and some teams have got teams near the bottom. So things are going to change in the next 2 or 3 weeks. But it is kind of at the end of the season where you draw those comparisons. It was the same last season. So we won't kind of know that until the end of the season. I think, you know, we played them. It was a tough game. We know that they've had some good results. We've had some good results. We're in a similar sort of position in the league. So I'm expecting it to be a close encounter. But I have full faith in the players and the staff to make sure that we come out with a positive result come the end of Sunday evening.
Finally, it's been a few months now since Libby Davis and Laura Holden joined the squad. How are they settling in?
Yeah, really well. It was kind of nice to bring 2 players in at a similar time. It allows them to connect. But because the rest of the squad had started to settle and those connections were being built, it meant that they were able to kind of come into that group like new signings would do and kind of merge in. They're doing really well. They're working really hard. They're going through all the things that they need to tactically kind of understand it. But they're adding that energy and they're adding that bite that we wanted them to bring, and we know they bring. And they're adding the depth into the squad that we have. It's been a little bit unfortunate for Laura because obviously she's been available, but you know, there's been cup ties and different things going on. So she's not been able to kind of come in consistently. And Libby's working her way through. You know, she's young and she's stepping up a couple of tiers, which is really difficult. But the process that she's going on and the work that she's putting in is fantastic as well. So we're really proud of both and both are contributing and we're excited to get both on the pitch as soon as possible.